review of the session, A Rite from the Stars, the latest from Phoenix Online Publishing, by way of Rising Goat. So this is a 3D point and click adventure game, but it's not an adventure game in the traditional sense. That is to say, you're not using things to open other things, kind of
Well,
deal.
not much.
Yeah.
You
Or
do
really, that's
sometimes
just
have to
one.
you do sometimes have to pick something up and use it on one other thing, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's one path. Um,
So
to
it's set
get
it's
into,
set it's
yeah,
set in a really I thought I checked on this and apparently it is fictional, but it's very Polynesian-ish.
which is
Well,
odd because the tribe represented here is the Makoa tribe,
mhm,
which is the Makoa are a real people, but they're based in Madagascar.
hmm.
I'm like, I don't know how well represented of Makoan culture. Apparently, this is using authentic Makoan music, according to
Maybe
the
it's a
like
mix of things. I really don't know.
yeah, it's like one of the bullet points here in the PR material says more than 2 hours of original Makoan music featuring the organum chorus. Like I said, I really don't know much about the Makoan people.
Yeah, seeing how we can't really have Gaijin Goomba on call for this one, this is kind of out of our depth.
Yeah, I mean, other than what's being said on Wikipedia here. Like the Makoa are an ethnic group in Madagascar descended from slaves traded through the major slave trading ports of northern Mozambique and mainly populated by the Makua people. Like,
I guess the Makoa language is like the real one is a branch of Malayo-Polynesian language group, so
mm,
I don't know how accurate any of that is.
right. This is kind of a cultural blind spot. Not hard to see why. It's like,
hmm The people look very tribal and wear masks made that look like leaves.
mm-hmm. I'm like, you might like I could easily see people mistaking this as something South American. Like, also worth noting the location of the developer. They're from Spain, so yeah.
Okay.
Well, my that's important to note because it's the difference between other people interpreting a culture and a culture interpreting themselves.
hmm
Like there are other games like that, like Never Alone comes to mind, which was actually created by Inuit people. Um,
Yeah.
so just keep that in mind in terms of like questions of cultural appropriation or whatever. Like,
hmm
I mean, honestly, the whole thing is so stylized. It might be a moot point.
Yeah. Anyway, you're the like the next generation chosen one, and apparently
Yeah.
chosen ones have not been doing so well lately because their spirit guides haven't been working out or something. So you have to do three trials of wisdom, courage, and spirit in order to become the next leader of whatever.
More to the point, and it's in the title, in anthropology class, we call this a rite of passage. Uh,
hmm
th- you know, this is the literal transformation of a boy into manhood.
Yeah, you're a yeah. It's a right, and the stars presumably refers to the fact that the spirit your spirit guide is they're called guiding stars, and they're literally they come down to earth from the firmament, which is the sky, in the form of little shooting star thingies.
Right. Also worth noting, this is one of those games where some of your choices matter. You one of six endings depending on what you do. Like the first, like the very start of the game has one of those choices where you can either approach the three guardians. I'm not sure if they have like a proper group name.
They're
Or
they're the guardians or something.
yeah,
There was a term.
Yeah, it's like, or you can hang back and watch them,
And there's an achievement for waiting to listen as long as you can, but you don't have to. There are a lot of cute achievements. Like there's one achievement where there's a puzzle where you have 4 lights, and if you make them the colors of the Japanese Super Famicom controller in that order, you get an achievement for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of seagulls in the main central village area. If you make them play a certain song, you get an achievement for that.
Anyway, the 3 paths. Each path is a different gameplay style. Like the Path of Courage is a co-op thing where you and a mystical mongoose, if I'm remembering correctly.
Meerkat.
Meerkat, there we go.
You know, Timon.
Yeah. Anyway, you basically do co-op puzzles based around timing and reflexes and your goal at each one of these paths is to get a sacred mask. Anyway, yeah.
The Path of Wisdom is item-based puzzles. You pick up the knife to cut down the thing, you use the thing to get the other thing, then you use the other thing to break open the things to get the pieces to put onto the things. Or you get the thing to hit the switches with and then hit the switches until it makes the right pattern.
Yeah. And finally, the Path of the Spirit is duality. That is to say, light world of dark world, or real world, spirit world. However you want to frame the designations, it's using, it's the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past style of puzzle solving. And if you don't know what that entails, it's passing through both dimensions in order to solve things. I'm like, right. So I suppose enough dancing around the issue. This game is not good. Like, it's not outright terrible. It's not broken, but it's not very good.
I enjoyed it. It's very atmospheric, but the puzzles there are a few issues. The interactable objects are not always very obvious. I mean, your cursor gets a white outline when you're over things, but when there are 2 things close together, sometimes it's hard to tell which is which, or that there are 2 separate things. You move pretty slowly, and some of these areas are pretty big. You have no camera control. It just zooms into place in certain areas. And some of the puzzles, it's just not... I understand that part of the puzzle is supposed to be figuring out what the puzzle is, but some of them just seem a little bit less intuitive than you'd think.
Yeah, I'm like the game. The game was developed on a very obviously low budget. It's an indie title. It's understandable. It's a Kickstarter title. It's understandable. But it's also this is a 3D game, so that kind of
art design is good, but the graphics are kind of PlayStation 2-y.
It's a low fidelity affair. But more to the point, some of the puzzle, this game just isn't doesn't have the best production values. I got to a boss encounter where I somehow both won and lost. Broke the whole game. It was quite frankly amazing. Shit like that happens. Or just some of the puzzles are badly designed. Like the final, or one of the final puzzles of the Courage trial is getting past the sleeping dragon while random falling rocks happen by, and the movement controls are kind of bad.
You click where you want to go.
And double click to get there, slightly faster.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'll be honest, I didn't get all that far in this game. I just found it not all that compelling. Like, all the technical issues aside, I found this game to be a bit on the basic side. Like, there's not a lot to the puzzles.
Yeah, for the size of the areas, there are sometimes surprisingly few interactable things or actual trials.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, right. Like I said, I'm kind of struggling to come up with things to talk about this game. It's probably good for younger gamers. Like, it's not too hard, and its puzzles are pretty easy to get your mind around. But that's kind of its it's failing. Like, it's like on an adventure game level, it's a bit too basic for its own good. At least that's my estimation. So pricing.
Yeah, it also seems to not be very long.
Yeah, that's another thing.
There are the 3 trials, and that's all there is to it, really. It seems like.
Well, once again, there are, I guess, morality choices or whatever. Like,
yeah, it says there are 6 different endings, which I think some of them probably depend on what you do in what order.
Very possible. Like, once again, didn't get one ending, let alone 6. Time was kind of limited this week. Like, yeah, this is what restoration jobs entail. But anyway, pricing. So unfortunately, this game also clocks in at $15. That's too much. Like,
this seems more like a $10 game.
Yeah, I'd say $10 is more the price range you should be looking for, and that's probably what it'll be when it goes on sale. So, also worth noting, this game's been kind of a long time coming. Looking at their Kickstarter page, like, to give you an idea of how long ago this thing was, it's got reward tiers for the Wii U and the fucking Ouya.
If only they knew. Yeah,
I'm like, I call it a hunch, but I do not see this game coming out for either system. I don't I'm not sure if this game is coming to the Switch or not. Like, I'd imagine it would fit well there, but
yeah, the only issue with that is the Switch has very few games that are touchscreen primary.
Yeah, but it could do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, yeah, if you're holding out for that Ouya version, I don't know what to
My
tell
condolences.
Their servers have been down for how many years?
Like, a long time. Like, so overall, bit of a below average game. Like, it's not terrible, but its lack of production value does shine through occasionally. And once again, the main issue is it's just kind of short and basic. That in and of itself is not a problem, but for the price they're asking for, I think it's a little too high. All right, final thoughts from you guys?
Like, I really don't know what to make of this. It's like, even this style of game has never been my cup of tea. So it's just kind of a thing.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic.
Yeah, it's certainly got
the voices and the language and stuff are very charming.
Like, assuming they're not doing massive cultural appropriations type shit.
Yeah, but it doesn't look that great, and they're, like, graphically, and, like, there are weird clipping things sometimes when you... And it's just... The main problem I had with the visuals is lack of distinction. Like, you can't tell exactly where you can and can't walk, and it's not always easy to tell what you can and can't interact with.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly got charm, but just not very engaging. That's all I have to say on it.
Yeah,
Alright,
I don't think it's bad. Like, pick it up on sale, but
All right, then. So that'll about do it for this review session. The week ahead. So we do have a Tuesday show scheduled with Abstraction Games. We're going to be welcoming John Day, who's a new recruit. We've had Abstraction Games on the program many times before. It's just Ralph has gotten a lot busier in recent times. Like, we've literally had to. We were gonna have him on at least twice, and we had to cancel at the last minute both times. So we're getting someone in his stead. I'm like, it's gonna be different because different position, different knowledge base, all that stuff. But hopefully, we can have a good interview. It's just, I don't know how knowledgeable he is on, like, say, Arc, or anything else they're working on. So
You guys still there?
Adam,
I'm still here.
I'm still here. I think Adam might have had an issue.
Yeah.
where did I cut out?
A little bit after Arc.
It's like, anyway, Wednesday show, double topic show. Um, we had a guest cancel out because of other things. Happens. A little too close to reschedule. Talking 3 days here. Like, it's happened, but I don't feel like reaching out. So we're going to be talking about Mega Man X, and we're going to be talking about Sonic Mania Plus.
Blue Bomber doubleheader? Sure, why not?
All right. So that's the schedule for the upcoming week. And until Tuesday, I wish you good gaming.